Hey guys, I'm Kim Java, and today we are gonna get a little groovy because we got some scoops on one of the coolest and maybe most functional EVs to hit the market next year, and we're finally getting some spy shots and details on the upcoming VW ID Buzz. And you'll remember, because I know you guys are watching all of our videos, that earlier this year we published a video called Everything We Know About Tesla's New Electric Van, because frankly it is in the works, and over the years Elon has dropped plenty of clues along the way.
Tesla is definitely going to make an electric van at some point. The thing to bear in mind is that there is fundamentally a constraint on battery cell output.
Even as recently as a few days ago during his so-called all-hands meeting, as well as earlier this year, saying that if it wasn't for fundamental constraints right now, it would be done. And if for some reason you haven't seen the whole video about the Tesla van that we made, it is a must watch because we highlighted just how high this project has been for Tesla throughout its history. So Elon has gone as far as explicitly saying it will use the Model X chassis and given us some hints at what it might even look like. He even felt that an electric van was such an incredible opportunity for Tesla that he included it in Tesla's Master Plan Part 2, saying, quote, "In addition to consumer vehicles, there are two other types of electric vehicles needed: heavy-duty trucks, the Tesla Semi, and high passenger density urban transport." He goes on to say, both are in the early stages of development at Tesla and should be ready for unveiling next year. We all know that they unveiled the Tesla Semi, but they never showed off the high passenger density van. But we actually do know what the van may look like because fellow viewer and Tesla tech journalist Dana Hull asked Elon if sketches existed, and Elon actually responded by saying it's inspired by some of California custom VW combi design art. That brings us to today's video. So we've already seen the VW ID4 out on the roads, and people seem to love everything about this EV.
Now that I've had it for a while, this is the best value for the price you're going to pay for an electric car today. Depending on where you live, you can get this car for under $30,000 after incentives.
But when it comes to the next car in VW's EV lineup, it could be their biggest hit yet. So remember, or maybe try not to remember, the retro car designs that made a comeback in the mid-2000s. We had a couple of stunners gifted to us by the car gods. You know, the Chrysler PT Cruiser and the VW Beetle, even the Chevrolet HHR. But fast forward about 15 years and the retro designs could look a heck of a lot nicer, let's hope. Just look at the new Ford Bronco and the Renault 5 concept. So back in 2017, VW unveiled its concept electric van, the ID Buzz, and it almost instantly became a van that just about everyone had positive and groovy responses to.
Very cozy. Right.
There we go.
I'm fortunate enough to share the space inside the ID Buzz, the living space, with the designer of it. Mr. Einar Castillo?
Exactly.
Is that how you say it?
Einar Castillo. Yeah.
Einar Castillo.
Hi, nice to meet you. Our main target was to generate kind of a lounge space.
Two front seats can turn into the captain's chairs,
exactly.
I think they call them.
Yeah.
And then in here we've got the rails along this veneer floor.
Yeah.
This, and this is so that you can fit an additional set of seats here, like
exactly.
a caravel.
Yeah.
So then it would be like a people carrier.
It's about flexibility. It's
Yeah.
about configuration. You can play as you wish with the interior space.
Yeah.
The ID Buzz clearly plays homage to the original combi van, which over the years became the iconic design for families, large groups, and was popular with the counterculture of the 1960s and hippies. My family was also part of it too. Check out this picture of my grandparents with their kids from circa 1960s, with my mom right there in the middle. She owns a Model 3 now too, by the way. So I'm gonna pause for a second because I want to give a quick thanks to the Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. So I have called these the Tesla of wallets when I first saw them because they are minimal and sleek and modern and basically just the complete opposite of your old bulky bifold wallet. So these ones are actually my husband's wallets that he uses, and it's just a sexy wallet with great build quality and feels well. So these wallets can hold up to 12 cards each plus cash, and they offer over 30 colors and styles like this carbon fiber and burnt titanium. titanium. And Ridge is so confident that you'll like the wallet that they'll let you test drive it for up to 45 days, and if you're not happy, you can actually send it back and get a full refund. Check out ridge.com/KimJava and enter the code KimJava for 10% off. So VW have already confirmed that the ID Buzz is going into production in 2022 for European markets only, and North America gets a crack at it in 2023. There'll be multiple configurations, rear and all-wheel drive options, and there'll be flexible seating variants to between 6 and 8 seats, and the skateboard battery design is said to accommodate packs from 48 to 111 kilowatt hours. The bigger pack will get you about 340 miles of range as tested on the European cycle. They're also releasing a commercial variant called the ID Buzz Cargo. All right, so now let's get to pricing because that's what people care most about. So the pricing starts around $40,000 for the passenger version, and this will give you the smallest battery pack, and it pretty much just goes up from there. Now, as far as what it will end up looking like, because most people don't actually expect it to look like the concept car, here's what we actually have. So in July of this year, we got to see some of the best spy shots via Car Scoops, who captured these photos during testing in the Alps. They noted that the initial spy shots were disguising the van as a transporter, but now as production gets closer, VW has really added quite a bit to hide the final design. Just to start, the headlights look like they have been artificially widened and lengthened to hide their real shape. And even though they do still look like ID vehicle lights, it looks like they'll be a lot thinner on the production of the ID Buzz. So going around to the back, the brake lights also look to be altered by stickers. So the prototype had very thin tail lights, and I wouldn't be surprised to see these grow a bit. And you'll also notice the word Bremsentest, which means brake test in German. Okay, so based on these spy shots and the original concept that we saw back in 2017, Car Scoops has actually rendered these images to show what the ID Buzz will most likely look like. So here's the good stuff. They highlighted that the front is easy to decode with a curvaceous styling like the original Combi, plus they also expected it to keep the character lines separating the lower and upper with a two-tone paint scheme. Sadly though, they said the other elements like the flush door handles and the mirrors haven't made the cut, although it does keep the concept LED headlamps and pillar details and smooth sheet metal surfacing. Go inside and they've made pretty clever spatial use thanks to it being an EV and having a flat floor design.
You can see these tracks on the floor, which is where the seats will be able to move to in the future. These seats can turn around, they can be dynamically reconfigured, so when you have an autonomous mode, you can turn the driver's seat around and talk to the people back here, or even get out of the driver's seat and come back here and relax.
The Buzz will have a freestanding digital instrument cluster and tablet-style infotainment screen with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and phone charging capabilities like you find in other ID models. And as you'd expect, they'll have driver convenience and assistant features like over-the-air updates, augmented reality, heads-up displays, speed sign recognition, and autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection. Now, let's get back to the all-hands meeting that Elon held a few days ago with Tesla employees. Because according to Teslarati, the report highlighted the so-called Robo van as a van that would be designed to address the needs of passengers with disabilities. And first of all, I think this is awesome, and I really do hope that they call it the Robo van because it just sounds amazing. But the report also suggests that the van would be optimized for easy ingress and egress, making it perfect for passengers who might have a hard time getting into conventional cars. So I think from the sounds of it, the Robo van would probably aim to serve multiple purposes, like being retrofitted to support Tesla's growing mobile service fleet, as well as being a transporter for the boring companies' loop systems, like the one that's already here right now in Las Vegas and generally uses Model 3s and Ys with low passenger density on board. So we know that conventional full-size vans can carry up to 12 passengers, so Tesla may be working on something that is more multi-purpose with numerous functions than just an electric van like the VW ID Buzz, especially when you consider Elon's long history of highlighting how bad he wants something that is a high passenger urban transporter. So let me know what you guys think of all this. Would you be more interested in the Volkswagen ID Buzz or in Tesla's so-called Robo van? I'm assuming that the Tesla Robo van will have way more range, and the price will probably be competitive with the Volkswagen ID4. And I know that those are big factors that a lot of people like to compare when they're looking at these vans. I know personally, if I have any more kids, I will be in the market for a van. And if you guys haven't already, please go to our website, itskimjava.com. We share all kinds of Tesla and EV inspired t-shirts like this one and other merch on there. So you can go on there, support us that way. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys had a groovy time.